Hi everyone, welcome to another week's video. Today I have some very exciting things to share with you. I had a long weekend in Paris and I did lovely things over there, including visiting a few art shops, and I found some very interesting stuff in there. I got some new art supplies and I'm really excited to try them and share them with you. I had also purchased online a few goods from Japan, some watercolors from Kusakabe and some gouache from Holbein. I'll be also sharing this with you today. I hope you will enjoy it. Like usual, I would like to thank everyone that has been following me here, supporting everything. I really appreciate. I'm really happy to have all of you here and to read your lovely comments, and I have lots of plans for more coming up on the channel, and let me know if there's anything in particular you would be interested in seeing. I'm happy to try and do my best. Now let's open these goodies, shall we? So first thing I got in the Sennelier store was this aquarelle paper. I had never tried this brand, SMLT Art. I have seen it previously, but never had a chance to try. Let me open the packaging so you can see better the quality of the paper. So this was not a very expensive watercolor paper. It's 280 grams and you have 20 sheets of paper. So it's in a spiral sketchbook. It has also a perforation on the side, which makes it easier to remove if you paint something you'd like to put on a frame, which is nice. It has different surfaces at the front and the back. I'll see if I can show. The front has a tiny little bit of texture, while the back is smooth. So we'll be trying this paper and see how it reacts to the paints. You will find it probably strange that I went to Sennelier store and I didn't get any Sennelier products, but I explain. Sennelier is a very well-known brand and it's easily available here in Ireland and in other art supply shops, and I honestly have all of the Sennelier products that I wanted to use. All of the watercolors that I have, I really like them. I have some acrylic inks from them as well. I can share this in a future video. If you're interested, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I visited their shop and I found these paints in particular very interesting because it's not something I've ever seen in any other shop, so I got those from them. And I also got some colored pencils, a marker, a watercolor marker, and I got one gouache from LeFranc Bourgeois. That is a French brand that I've never tested their gouache, so I'm also curious about that. But what I'm most curious about is these Japanese paints. I don't read Japanese. I have no idea what the names mean. I bought them by the numbers, so we'll be swatching those. And the pen that I got is the Faber-Castell Pitt Duo Marker, and this is May Green. Then I got this Inktense pencil Mineral Blue. Is a new color that I don't have, and it looks like it's a very beautiful deep turquoise. And I got this pencil, sorry, I found it looked very fun to use. I've seen I think it was Monkey Mintaka here on YouTube using this type of pencils to draw with, and this one looked quite fun. Is the Koh-i-Noor Hard Move Magic pencil. They have different colors, but you can see here they have the lead that has different colors, and they have different versions of this magic pencil. I got this one with the neon because I thought it was nice. And I got the gouache from LeFranc Bourgeois. This is the It's called Gouache, that is like a cloud gray, I think, storm gray. And I'll take the chance to show you also what I got from the Rouge and Play store, because I got more gouache over there and it's the same brand, so I'm gonna share all of this now. I got the chromium oxide green, the quinacridone violet, and the cobalt green deep. And I also got 2 new flash paints. I have other flash colors, which I confess I haven't been using much since I purchased them. And in this Rouge and Play, they had all of the colors. I could see it in person. They had also a color chart painted, which was great. And I got the gray green and ivory, which I found were very nice colors to paint backgrounds for gouache paints or even mixed media. Now I'm just missing the Japanese goodies that I got this week. I'm gonna unwrap those and I'll show you. By the way, I hope that you are able to see well what I'm filming here. The lighting situation has been quite unstable in between very sunny moments and very cloudy ones. I have the lights here and I hope this will be good enough for you to see the colors that I'll be swatching. So I have here the watercolors and the gouache that I got from Japan. So I got 3 colors from the Holbein Irodori collection. I didn't want to get the whole set because I don't need that much gouache. I just had some colors that I was particularly interested in trying. And so I got amber and armor cork yellow and russet green. These are the 3 gouache colors that I got. Now the interesting part, we have some new watercolors. I have never used this brand before and I got really curious when I saw a video from Paint in Hiding talking about these new single pigments sets from this brand, and they had some unusual pigments. So I pigment nerd that I am, I had to try them. So I have here 5 new colors from Kusakabe from the single pigment collection. The first one is cobalt nickel gray light, then there's cobalt nickel gray and antimony gray, zinc iron chromite brown, and chrome orchid. As you can see, I have lots of interesting goodies to share with you. I'm gonna just take my time to organize them and then we'll be back for swatching. So I'm back. It's another day. I had to wait because things got really cloudy over here. It was way too dark for me to film, but today seems to be all good. So let's start. I'm very curious to see how these perform. I will start with this Japanese Gansai here. They had loads of colors there. I think maybe, I don't know, 60 or so, even more. They had also pearlescent ones. I had to really restrain myself to these 5 here and the big one. I just opened this also to check, and it's a beautiful ceramic palette. So it's nice that once you are finished with the paint, you can still use the palette. Really nice quality items from Japan. I think I'm gonna just spray this a little bit So first to try this type of salmon coral color. It's really nice. It performs as Gansai paints usually do. They are quite opaque and creamy, but you can always dilute them. Now let's see, this I think was a green. Yeah, it was a dark teal. Of course I could not resist. It's very beautiful dark tone. Even though I have so many different materials in these tones, as I mentioned in a previous video, every time I'm buying something new, that's what catches my eye. And after I paint these, I'm gonna approach and then I'll show also the close-up when they are dry. But I'm already loving the combination of these two colors. Let's see the next one. Also an interesting one, type of a purplish taupe. So far the color palette has been nice. This is a bit more transparent than the other ones. It's a beautiful bright blue. We have this, I don't remember which color that is. Some type of Bordeaux. Sometimes these paints can be a bit hard to judge from the color you see. They go differently on paper, but yeah, really happy with these. And now for the pièce de résistance, let's try this big boy over here. It looks quite yellow, but I remember on the store in their color chart it looked like a yellow green. Ah yeah, definitely. It is a type of in between lemon yellow and yellow green, I would say. I guess it depends on what colors you are putting close by, because I saw these close to greens. I saw it as a green, but if you put besides the red, it looks quite yellowish. So let me show this to you close now. Here are the colors. They're still wet, but I'll be showing you once they are dry as well. Really nice. And I forgot to mention this box here they gave me in the store to store the pens, which was nice. It was a nice touch as well. I'm gonna put this here on the side for the moment. And now I think I'm gonna use this little space over here to test the pen, the Pitt Faber-Castell Duo Artist Pen Duo Marker, May Green. I'm going to do some scribbling over here, and then I'm gonna dilute it. It has this brush tip, and the other tip is fine liner. Dissolve it and see how it shows. In this paper in particular, is not really dissolving a lot. I don't know if maybe I let it dry for too long, even though it was just the time for me to write this, so oh gosh. Guys, I just came to the realization while filming here that this is not the pen I thought I was purchasing, which is fun enough, but I thought was purchasing the Albert Dürer water soluble marker, May Green. Give me a second and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I thought I was purchasing one of these. These are the Faber-Castell Albert Dürer watercolor marker. I have a few of these and they are really nice, and I wanted to have a May Green of these. Instead, I got the Pitt Artist pen, which is a waterproof pen. That's no wonder it's not dissolving, because it's not supposed to be dissolved as the Albert Dürer watercolor marker. So I'm sorry for the confusion. I got confused myself because they are, I mean, they are not super similar, but it's easy to get confused because they both have this big format, they both have dual tips, and yeah, I got confused. My fault. Let's keep going after this hiccup, and I'll probably just leave it at the editing so you can see that it's so easy to get confused when you're buying art supplies. That's why it's important to read through what you're buying, not like I did, getting excited and getting the wrong pen. But let's carry on. I have this Derwent Intense Mineral Blue, and this is water soluble. You even have the little brush over here. So let's try this one. I'll try it over here maybe. I think that's a big enough sample. Let's see. Oh yeah, it dissolves very easily. And I like both the color of the pencil used dry and used as a water soluble pencil. It's really beautiful turquoise. I don't use Inktense a lot, but I want to try and find ways to use it more because they are really vibrant. Let's see how it dries. I'll just continue here. Oh, and it's nice also to use it on top of wet paper like this. you have yet another tone. You have like a grayish blue, a very dark teal, and then the light turquoise. So they are very versatile, this type of pencils, which is nice. Now I am going to do some scribbling here, I think, with this very groovy magic pencil from Koh-i-Noor. Let's see. Indeed, it has some neon. Can be fun to draw with. And I don't know if you noticed, but I've been twisting the pencil as I draw to get a different pattern of colors. Yeah. It's pretty fun to use. My swatching is a bit all over the place today, but we'll go with it. And now I think I am going to try the watercolors, or no, I'm gonna leave the watercolors for last. I'm going to try this LeFranc Bourgeois gouache. I have 4 of them, and after them I will try the 3 new Holbein. So I'm gonna put a little dot of each. And by the way, I really like the way the paper has been performing so far. I was not having great expectations because it's quite a thinner paper than what I'm used to, and this is, I think, 280. So it's not that thin. Then I thought it was a bit thinner, and yeah, it's really nice. And it was quite inexpensive as well. It was under €8 for the block. Sorry, for the pad. I have this storm gray. Beautiful kind of purplish gray. Then the quinacridone violet. Oh, there's some binder separation over here. I mix it a bit. I hope it will be okay. And now we have the cobalt green deep. Bit of binder separation, but it's quite common to happen, most of all with cobalt colors. And Winsor & Newton, for example, a lot of their gouache has this issue, so it's not a sign of bad quality of the paint. It's just something that happens more in some brands than in other brands, but it does happen in professional or artist color gouache as well. So we'll see how they perform. And this is artist quality. It's written extra fine. The last one is chrome oxide green. Let's hope this doesn't have binder issues. It's okay. Yeah, This one is good. Okay, so I'm gonna just add a tiny bit of water to my brush to help it glide, and we'll see. This gray is beautiful. I have to say, I was indeed very happily surprised by the Sennelier store. They had a lot of materials that I don't usually see in art supply stores. Japanese materials. They had also Nicker poster paints, which I was curious about, but they only had jars, and they had sets, but they were very big, massive sets. If you ever thought like me that Sennelier store would have only Sennelier products, you'll be surprised at the variety of materials they have there. And it's a very old shop. Only their pigment wall is worth the visit, I think. It's a very beautiful old art supply store. This violet is very punchy, very vibrant, very pigmented. I have to say, these are very nice to paint with so far. I haven't seen any issues with this brand, and unfortunately it's not a brand I find often. At least here in Dublin I've never seen anything from this brand, and in all the art supply shops I've been so far, I only ever see them in France. I think they may have something on Amazon. I'm not sure. I'm gonna check before I publish the video if I find Amazon or Jackson's, and then I'll leave the link below if you want to check it out. This green is very beautiful, so rich. I forgot to mention the pigments actually. The storm gray is PBK9, PB29, excuse me, and PW6. So that's why it has a bit of this purplish tint to it. It has ultramarine blue. Then the quinacridone violet is PV55. The cobalt green deep is PG26, and last but not least, this one I'm gonna swatch right now is PG17. Oh, it's very big, opaque, creamy green, this one. As chrome oxide usually is. Already in watercolor is very opaque and creamy. It got covered pretty easily, and I still have a lot of paint in my brush, so yeah, they're gorgeous. Now let's try the Holbein gouache. I'm going to start with the Armor Cork Yellow. Holbein doesn't need an introduction. It's one of the best gouache there is, and you really need a very tiny amount. They are super pigmented. They glide on paper and they dry very uniformly. They are really one of the best, in my opinion. And yeah, these Irodori new ones, I liked some of the colors, but not enough to buy a whole set. There was, oh, this one was a bit overfilled, so I exaggerated a bit here. So yeah, I was saying I liked some of the new colors in these Eurodori sets, but not enough to justify purchasing a whole set. I was interested in some particular colors like these ones, so I was happy to find this shop selling them individually, because they also sell them individually in Jackson's, but many of the ones I was interested in were out of stock. So there is that. This yellow is kind of similar to the other Japanese yellow I purchased, which is fun. This is drying more greenish now that it's dry than yellow, but yeah, I'm happy. It reminds me a lot of Masha's green from Deep Deep Light. That is probably my very most favorite color of all the colors I have from them. That's why I could not resist picking this one up when I saw it. And by the way, let me mention the pigments also. This one, the Armor Cork Yellow, is PY154 and PG17. Now the Amber is PY119 and PY83. This looks like a very beautiful, oh yes, gold tone. Oh yes, I love this color. It's so beautiful. It's a bit like a quinacridone gold. It's very properly named amber, because I think it really looks like amber. This must be my favorite gouache from Holbein. It's so beautiful. I'm speechless. Love this color. Let's hope it dries, that way it doesn't lose a lot of vibrancy. Very luminous colors, like it has nickel or yellow or something, but it doesn't. As I mentioned to you, it doesn't have this pigment. Now for this big blob of russet green. Let's see. Oh yes, beautiful olive type of color, also very vibrant, very luminous. I was in between this and another green called elm green, but in the end I think that this was more the type of green I like. It's a very olive type of green with this luminous tone as well. And it's quite transparent, which I don't mind. Even though gouache is more opaque than watercolor, you can also use it diluted, and I think it's nice to mix sometimes colors that are more opaque and use colors that are a bit more transparent. It gives more visual interest. I did a very big swatch. It started small and it just grew. But yes, I'm very happy with these colors. They are very beautiful. Look at this. Gorgeous. Lovely, lovely green. I have a little space here, so I'll try to do my watercolor swatches here. I have 5 of them to try. Let me By the way, this is a lovely tray I got from a souvenir kiosk in France as well. I thought it was pretty sweet, so I could not resist. I have a passion for trays. I have so many trays. Trays and boxes, and yeah. So let's do this. I'm gonna start with the cobalt nickel gray light. It's the first time I use this brand of paints, Kusakabe. This is pigment PBK25. I'm gonna put it a little blob over here. And where's the other? Yes, this is the cobalt nickel gray. This is the same pigment, PBK25. Then we have the zinc iron chromite brown, PBR33. Then orchid, chrome orchid, PR236. Oh, this one has a bit of binder separation, looks like. And finally, the antimony gray, PPK23. Oh, got a bit carried away there. By the way, these tubes are 10 milliliters. This was one of the sets, if I'm not mistaken. They may have had a fifth color, so they have like 3 different sets. And yeah, I didn't want to buy sets. I rather buy the individual tubes I was interested in. That's why I was happy that the art stationery shop where I purchased this from were selling them individually, so that was good. They also had the new Holbein granulating series sold individually. Maybe I'll zoom in for this little part over here. So let's see. It's indeed granulating. You can see the texture. I'm gonna show you also once it's dry. It's a very pale color, semi-opaque I would say, which is the case for many cobalts, so no surprise there. It has a really soft, delicate texture. I like it. I get so excited when I'm trying new art supplies. I could not wait to make this video so I could see how these colors look like. Now the cobalt gray, nickel gray. It behaves in a similar way, only darker. It has beautiful granulation. Wow, this has really Really nice granulation, very pronounced granulation actually. It has this darker sandy texture kind of showing through. I hope you can see that on the video on camera right now, but in any case I'll be showing that later on when it's dry. Really beautiful. I'm so happy with this color so far. Let's see now the iron chromite, zinc iron chromite brown. This I see a bit less texture compared to the previous two. Maybe it will show more once it's dry. We'll see. I think I may have other paints with this pigment, PBR 33. I'm going to check after. Let's see now this Chrome Orchid. Was also a new pigment for me. It reminds me a bit of ultramarine pink. Which I think is PR 259, if I'm not mistaken. It's very light. Maybe I should add a bit more. Okay, let's see. It may be the case that it's just a very light color. It's indeed a very light color. You see, I just added a huge, not huge, but considerable amount of paint, but I didn't get a lot more vibrancy with it, so it's a very light color. How this, on the other hand, is very pigmented. It's a pity I didn't leave a lot of space for it here. But yeah, it's also an opaque color. Very beautiful. Let me show this close to you now. As you can see, there's a very light, delicate texture here on the cobalt nickel gray light. The cobalt nickel itself is more pronounced. Now that the iron chromite is drying, you can see a bit more texture. The Chrome Orchid, I'm a bit disappointed with it. I found it was a bit gummy. I don't know if it's due to binary issues or if it's the nature of the paint. It kind of reminds me a bit of painting with earth green. Green earth. You know, green earth has that type of gummy texture where you put paint and it just doesn't glide, it just stays where it is. And this was a bit like this. We'll see how it dries. I'll see if it dries with some shiny spots, then I will know it's a binder issue. And the antimony gray is very nice. It's quite rich and opaque, so you may need to really dilute that to get some more effects. But overall, I like the paints. Yeah, apart from the Chrome Orchid, I like all of them. I find they nice. This is by far my favorite so far, but we'll see. I'll let this dry completely. I'm gonna title them and then I'll be back. So I'm back. All of the paints are dry. I also titled them, but I realized I forgot to swatch these two over here, they were in a corner, I didn't notice, so I am going to take this tiny little space here so I can keep all of the swatches in one page, and then I'll show you the close-up. So first, let's try the ivory. We'll see. I think I'll take straight from the tube to avoid making a mess on my page. I don't know if you are familiar with flash paints, but they are a vinyl type of paint, and they are waterproof once dry, like acrylic, but they dry very matte, which is good. Now, the next one is the gray green, or the green gray? Gray green, yeah. This swatch session has been, sorry, as I was saying, the swatch session has been a roller coaster, full of hiccups and whatnot, and then my phone started ringing, so I had to pause the recording, and I got paint in my hands, but we'll go with it. And so yeah, this is the green, gray green. It's a very nice tone. I bought thinking of using it for backgrounds, and I managed to get them into this already quite crowded page, but I think you can have an idea. Let me show you the close-up. Here we have what I found out, and I had a suspicion it was Kissho, and it is indeed. I used my phone to translate what was in the back of those little boxes they came in, and they had some unusual names sometimes. So we have here coral, bronze, which I found was unusual because I wouldn't expect bronze to look like that, but we'll go with it. This one was the first one. I found it funny. It's called Rotten Leaves, and again, if any of you speaks Japanese and this is not correct, I'm sorry about that. I have no idea of what was in there, so I just used the Google Lens to translate it. And this is sky blue, which is very accurate. Then you have red bean tea, and this is called rapeseed color, which I think it makes sense also because I think the rapeseed flowers are a ton of bright yellow, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, we have here the ink tense, which is really nice. Then the flash paints, you see, I just put them in and they are almost dry to the touch, and they look very matte, so they're fun to paint with, and they take pencil on top very nice. I will see if by the end of my close-up here it is completely dry. I'll try to draw something on top of it. And yeah, we have here the gouache from LeFranc Bourgeois. It's really nice and matte. Some of them more transparent than others, like the quinacridone violet. You can see it's more transparent, but this is due to the pigment. It's nothing to do with the gouache itself. This is more opaque because it has white in it. The cobalt green dip is really lovely. You see, I hope you can see, it has some texture, which is not something you usually see in gouache. But because cobalt is indeed a textured paint, it came through in this case because it's not as opaque as the chrome oxide green, for example. And this is very matte, really nice. I was really impressed with the Holbein Irodori gouache, particularly this amber color. I really love it. I think it's quite a unique type of golden yellow orange The russet green also is really lovely. It's like olive green, and I really love the color. Then we have my failed attempt over here to dissolve a non-dissolvable marker, because it's supposed to be waterproof once dry. So we have that. And then we have the Kusakabe single pigment watercolors that I got, and I have here their names and the pigment information on the side. You can see they all have some texture. They are all classified as granulating. Some are more opaque than others, like the antimony gray is more opaque, so if you want to see more texture, you probably have to dilute it a bit more than I did. The Chrome Orchid, actually it dried nicely. It doesn't have any shiny spots as I was expecting, maybe because of the binder separation issues. It looks nice. It's a very light, delicate type of paint. I just didn't have a great experience painting with it because it has that gummy texture like green earth, like I mentioned, but it dries nicely. And the the chromite brown, it's nice as well, but my really favorite was this cobalt nickel gray. Look at this texture. It's a really lovely granulation you have here. You have also different tones. You have a lighter gray in the background and a darker gray in the front, so really nice. And the cobalt nickel gray light is also a lovely color. These two were my favorite of the bunch, I have to say. But yeah, overall I'm really happy with these paints. Let's try and see if we can use now the pencil on top of the flash paint. We'll see. Yeah, you see that it takes it really nicely. It goes over without difficulty. And if you ever tried writing or drawing on top of acrylic paint, you know the pain it is, because acrylic paint dries with shine and has a bit of more of this plasticky texture. So this is really great if you like to do mixed media and to layer more on top of your paints. You can use near colors, you can use colored pencils, and of course you can also use on top of it other vinylic paints, or you can use gouache. The sky is the limit with these paints. They are really great. And yeah, overall I'm really happy with all the things I got. Hi, so this is voiceover me over here. I forgot mentioning while I was recording about the paper. I really loved working on this paper. I think it took very well all the paints I tried, the gouache, the watercolors, the colored pencil. I think it's a very versatile paper, and it's also inexpensive. If you have a chance to try, I would recommend for you to try with mixed media. I think it's a good one, and I will be exploring more of that. Now back to the video. With the exception of this mistaken identity happening over here, but I will use it nevertheless. I love the color. And yeah, let me know in the comments which were your favorites, if you knew the materials that I tested, if you didn't, if you are interested in trying them. I always love reading your comments. And keep your eyes peeled, because I have some more good stuff coming soon, and I have a lot of good ideas for the channel, so keep following me here. Give me the thumbs up if you like this video, and I'll see you soon. Bye!